Hi, this is John again, the owner and developer of VectorDecks. In this tutorial, we're going to create a 2x2 rail post in VectorDecks menu option. I had pre-made these different rail components and saved this as a template, but now we're going to go ahead and create that rail post. What I do first is work with the individual objects in a blank document. That way it eliminates a lot of this clutter. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this particular 2x2 rail post, and I'm going to open up a new document. Go ahead and paste it in here. It helps sometimes to have it right in the smack center of the document. As we work with it, you'll see how it kind of helps things along the way when you're creating the actual object itself. Now I didn't close out of that working template we have because I may need to go back there from time to time for information. So I left that open. It's there in the background. It's a different scale, that's why it's larger. Now VectorDecks keeps all their different rail objects, all their different rail parts in a folder called VectorDecks Data Folder. And in that folder is subfolders. Now it's very important that we create the right object in its right folder, otherwise VectorDecks won't have access to it. This being a post object, we're going to go ahead and open that rail post objects. Now we are presented with another group of folders. We have rail post sleeves, rail posts, rail post caps, and rail post skirts. We're creating a rail post, so let's go in here. VectorDecks creates the rail objects different for different type of objects. The rail post objects are created from a 2D image, and in Vectorworks you can see here if I hover over the object itself, it tells me whether it's a 2D or a 3D, or if it just has a little box with an X in it in this particular view, then you know it's 2D. I'll show you here. For example, the caps are 3D. So they show a 3D type icon of the image itself. Now let me get back to those rail posts. This is the easiest way to create any of the objects, is to navigate down to their proper folder. That way you know you're in the right location. And then what I do is I select any of the objects that are already in there. Go ahead and select it, and you could duplicate it and give it a different name. I'm going to call this a 2x2 post. And click OK. And now you see it appears in that window. Next, go ahead and select that object we just pasted in from the template in the back, that 2D post. Go ahead and copy it. Now go to that 2D post we created here in the window, and you can either right click or you can go here and edit, and by default it may pop up as a 2D component or a 3D component. Now we know this is just a 2D component, so we're going to leave that 2D checked and go ahead and click edit. Now we're inside the actual object's creation, or the object itself. These are actually basically symbols. You can see here it says exit symbol. But we need to change the existing one, which was a 4x4, and we're going to paste in that 2x2. So I'm going to get rid of that and go ahead and paste in that 2x2. Now you want to make sure that once you're done pasting that you center it, because this is where the math's involved and the placement of the post along the rail. It knows it's the center of the object itself. Now the next important thing is to go ahead and deselect that object, and up here in the object information palette you're going to see three buttons here: shape, data, and render. You need to click on data, and this is where we discussed earlier, it's going to bring up this option to apply different type of dimensions to the object. And this is very, very important. When you're copying any of the existing rail components that I've created, If it has a 0 or if it's a blank, it's not critical. But if there's an actual dimension, it's using that dimension, so it's very important. And here you'll see it has a width of 3.5. We need to change that. The post we popped in here is actually 2 inches by 2 inches. So let's go ahead and make that change. The width is 2 and the depth is also 2. I can't express enough how important it is to enter the proper dimension of the object. All the real calculations are going to be based on these dimensions. If they're incorrect, it'll display incorrectly. And once you're satisfied with everything here, go ahead and click on Exit Symbol. Now you see the 2x2 post appears within that Real Post folder. And that means that VectorDecks Menus has options to that 2x2 post for you. Now let's go ahead and delete that 2x2 post that we pasted in from our creation template back here. And it's important as you create anything in VectorDecks resource browser, remember that it's only there for this particular document. So I always do a save as template so I don't lose it. And I've been working on this VectorDecks 10 as sort of a working template for all these rail components, so I'm just going to overwrite that one. It'll warn me and go ahead and replace that. Now we have that 2x2 post in that VectorDecks 10 template that we can access at any time. Eventually you could move this to your master VectorDecks template. In our next tutorial, we'll be going over the post sleeve object.